Canada has just shocked the world. In a move that few saw coming, the nation has stepped onto the global stage with a boldness that's making headlines everywhere. Today, December 14, 2025, Ottawa unveiled landmark trade agreements with key Asian nations. The announcement, made in the heart of the capital, signals a dramatic shift in Canada's economic direction and priorities. The centerpiece? A $24 billion pact with Indonesia. This deal alone is set to reshape the flow of goods, services, and investments between the two countries, opening up new markets for Canadian businesses and creating fresh opportunities for Indonesian partners. This isn't just another trade deal, it's a declaration of economic independence. For decades, Canada's economy was tied almost exclusively to the United States. That era is over. Canada is now charting its own course, determined to reduce its reliance on a single partner and to build a more resilient, diversified economy. The world is watching as Canada boldly redefines its place in global commerce. These new deals, part of a broader Indo-Pacific strategy, are the result of years of patient diplomacy, careful negotiation, and a vision for a future where Canada is a true global player. It's a calculated gamble, betting that the future of growth lies across the Pacific, not just the southern border. By strengthening ties with Asia, Canada is positioning itself at the crossroads of East and West, ready to seize the opportunities of a rapidly changing world economy. Prime Minister Trudeau called it a new chapter, not about turning away from old friends, but embracing new ones. He emphasized that Canada's future prosperity depends on building bridges, not walls, and on forging partnerships that reflect the realities of the 21st century. The message is clear: Canada is diversifying on a massive scale. This is not a small adjustment, but a fundamental transformation of how the country does business with the world. The agreements span agriculture, resources, high-tech, and clean energy. From prairie wheat to advanced robotics, from critical minerals to green technology, Canadian innovation and expertise are set to reach new markets and drive sustainable growth. This is a comprehensive strategy to secure prosperity for generations, with or without the U.S. It's about ensuring that Canadian families, workers, and businesses have a future that's stable, secure, and full of promise, no matter what happens beyond our borders. For Canadians, this isn't just about numbers. It's about jobs, opportunity, and a new sense of control. It's about building a country where everyone can benefit from global success, and where the next generation can dream even bigger. The integrated North American economy faces its greatest test yet. The old rules no longer apply. Canada just made a powerful opening move, and the world is watching to see what happens next. What's in this deal? The headline: a $24 billion comprehensive economic partnership with Indonesia, opening a market of 270 million people. Nearly all Canadian exports, beef, wheat, seafood, will enter tariff-free, but it goes deeper. Canadian firms gain access to Indonesia's booming service sector. Canada also finalized expanded trade with Vietnam, Malaysia, and the Philippines, the ASEAN Tigers. By securing access to these fast-growing economies, Canada leapfrogs the U.S., which has no comparable deals. This isn't just about selling more lumber, it's about embedding Canada in the world's most dynamic region. For years, experts warned that over-reliance on the U.S. was a vulnerability. Now Canada has a powerful insurance policy. This network of agreements makes the economy more resilient to shocks. With strong provisions on digital trade, environment, and labor, Canada is playing the long game. And today, that strategy paid off. The future of Canadian trade is global, not just continental. To truly grasp the significance of today's developments, we need to look back at the long and complex history of trade between the United States and Canada. This relationship has always been more than just numbers on a balance sheet. It's a story of neighbors, partners, and sometimes, rivals. For generations, the two countries built a deeply integrated economy. Every day, billions of dollars in goods and services cross the border, supporting millions of jobs on both sides. From auto parts to lumber, energy to agriculture, the US and Canada became each other's largest trading partners, creating a level of economic interdependence rare in the world. But over the last decade, a new wave of US protectionism began to reshape this relationship. Political winds shifted, and the idea of America first started to dominate trade policy discussions. Suddenly, the US began to view Canada less as a trusted partner and more as a competitor. Tensions rose in boardrooms and government offices alike. The contentious renegotiation of NAFTA, which led to the USMCA, left deep scars. The process was fraught with uncertainty, and both sides made tough concessions. Trust was shaken. Canadian businesses, once confident in their access to the US market, realized that nothing could be taken for granted anymore. The sense of security that had defined decades of trade was gone. Then came the tariffs on steel, aluminum, and other key exports. These measures hit Canadian industries hard, leading to layoffs, plant closures, and economic uncertainty in communities across the country. In response, Canada imposed its own tariffs, and what had once been a friendly trading relationship quickly escalated into a real trade war, with both sides feeling the pain. This was a wake-up call. For the first time, it became clear that the US was willing to weaponize trade policy, even against its closest ally and neighbor. The old rules no longer applied. Canadian leaders realized they needed a new strategy, a plan B to protect their economy and future. The country's heavy reliance on the US market was exposed as a glaring vulnerability, sparking urgent discussions among policymakers and business leaders. The search for new markets, especially in Asia and Europe, became a top priority. Diversifying trade partners was no longer just a goal, it was a necessity for survival. Today's historic announcement is rooted in those painful lessons of the past decade. It's a direct response to the challenges and uncertainties that have defined recent years. Canada's pivot toward new partnerships truly began when trust in the old relationship broke down, marking a turning point in the nation's economic history. Canada's pivot to Asia was about survival and growth. With the US turning inward, relying on one market became too risky. True security meant diversification. The government launched a multi-year diplomatic push across the Indo-Pacific. Canadian officials listened, learned, and tailored their approach to Asia's needs. This wasn't just about selling resources, it was about building deep, lasting partnerships. Asia, home to half the world's population and a booming middle class, was the logical choice. Canada offers what Asia needs: clean energy, safe food, and advanced technology. As a multicultural nation with strong Asian ties, Canada had a unique advantage. The government leveraged these connections, fostering business, academic, and cultural links. Trade is about relationships, and Canada invested in them. What's Canada selling to Asia? Almost everything. For prairie farmers, it's a game changer. New markets for wheat, canola, pulses, and beef. Indonesia alone is a massive wheat importer. Canadian farmers now have a clear edge, but it's not just resources. Canada's tech sector, AI, quantum computing, gaming, gains access to tech-savvy Asian markets. Clean energy is another pillar. Canadian expertise in hydropower, solar, and green tech is in high demand. These deals help export Canadian values, sustainability, and innovation. Services matter too. Banks, insurers, engineers, and educators can now operate and invest in Asia. The agreements make it easier for professionals to move and share expertise. This is about exporting Canadian ingenuity, not just commodities. The benefits will ripple from farms to city towers across the country. What does this mean for ordinary Canadians? For families from coast to coast, these changes aren't just numbers on a page. They're about real lives, real jobs, and real futures. Every Canadian, whether living in a bustling city or a quiet rural town, feels the impact of these economic shifts in their daily routines and long-term dreams. For towns hit by US tariffs, it's a lifeline. Communities that once faced uncertainty and job losses now see a path forward, with new opportunities opening up where doors once seemed closed. In Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, steel jobs are more secure with new Asian markets. Workers who once worried about layoffs can now look to the future with renewed hope, knowing their skills are in demand beyond North America. For Nova Scotia seafood businesses, access to Indonesia and Vietnam means recovery and growth. Fishermen and processors are seeing new buyers for their catch, helping entire coastal communities thrive again. Tech startups in Waterloo landing contracts in Malaysia will hire more Canadians, boosting local economies. Young professionals and recent graduates are finding exciting opportunities at home, fueling innovation, and keeping talent in Canada. These deals create a virtuous cycle. More exports mean more jobs, more spending, and stronger communities. Local businesses benefit, and the positive effects ripple out to every corner of the country. It's about empowering workers and families, providing stability in an uncertain world. Parents can plan for their children's futures, and workers can feel secure in their livelihoods. For years, Canadians felt their economic fate was tied to Washington's whims. Every policy change south of the border sent shockwaves through Canadian businesses and households. Now, they have more control over their prosperity. Entrepreneurs, farmers, and workers alike are seizing new opportunities, building a future that's shaped by Canadian choices and Canadian values. This pivot fosters national confidence and optimism. Communities are coming together, united by a sense of purpose and pride in what Canada can achieve on the world stage. Canada is no longer just a passenger in the global economy, it's in the driver's seat. Decisions made here at home are shaping the nation's destiny, opening doors for generations to come. The opportunities span old industries and new big cities and small towns. From advanced technology to traditional farming, every sector is finding its place in this new era. The message: Canada's future is open, ambitious, and self-determined. Young people are dreaming bigger, entrepreneurs are taking bold steps, and communities are investing in tomorrow. A new era of hope has begun. Across the country, Canadians are looking ahead with optimism, ready to embrace the promise of new horizons and a brighter future for all. Today's events highlight a stark divide between Canada and the US. America has embraced protectionism, tariffs, skepticism of trade deals, and a focus on reshoring. The US sees trade as a zero-sum game, leading to confrontation and unpredictability. Canada, in contrast, champions open markets, diversification, and multilateralism. While the US withdrew from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, Canada salvaged it and kept building bridges. The Canadian approach sees trade as win-win, creating prosperity for all. This divide has real consequences. US protectionism creates uncertainty and opens doors for Canada. Canada's new deal with Indonesia gives its beef producers a clear edge over American competitors. Canada is deepening global ties, while the US risks isolation. Two neighbors, once in lockstep, now march to different economic beats. Canada's strategy is global engagement. The US is looking inward. The result: Canada is more integrated into the world economy than ever. The divergence is only growing. Canada's trade strategy is making it a magnet for global investment. International companies now see Canada as a gateway, access to the US, Europe, and Asia. Build a factory in Canada, and you can export seamlessly to 3 continents. This makes Canada an attractive place to invest, build, and create jobs. The government's commitment to free trade, stability, and a skilled workforce is paying off. Major tech and manufacturing firms are already investing in Canadian cities. This influx of capital funds innovation, infrastructure, and high-paying jobs. Canada is no longer just a junior partner, it's a significant economic player. The world is taking notice. Canada's pivot has profound consequences for North America and global trade. The old Fortress North America model is being redefined. Less dependency, more partnership. The US remains important, but it's no longer Canada's only partner. This shift may force the US to rethink its own trade policies as Canadian competitors gain ground. Canada's success is a case study in the benefits of open markets and multilateralism. Other nations will study this playbook, showing it's possible to prosper independently, even among superpowers. Canada proves you don't have to be the biggest to be influential. Through diplomacy and strategic patience, it has diversified and strengthened its global standing. This is more than a news story. It's a nation coming into its own. Canada's path is risky, but it leads to resilience and independence. The economic landscape is permanently changed. In an age of walls, Canada is building bridges and shaping the future of global trade.